Tesla stock at the time of recording this video is up 1.25% today. There is some news that we're going to go over, but first off, I really want to just talk about Nvidia selling off almost 3% today. This is part of that post-earnings reaction we seen yesterday. Nvidia was down to start the trading day, ended up going green, and now today you're seeing kind of a delayed red day from Nvidia earnings, whereas yesterday probably should have been that red day. Now, this is not a video specifically about Nvidia, but I talked about this before and after Nvidia earnings. This broadening out of not just the AI trade, but yes, I expected the AI trade would broaden out to more software, more second tier semiconductor, second tier, software names, and stocks like Tesla. And that's happening. But also small caps and cyclicals. So basically the Russell and the Dow, I expected would outperform. That's exactly what's happening, especially for the Russell 2000. The Russell 2000 is up 1% today after massively outperforming yesterday as well. The NASDAQ is actually down 1/3 of 1%, mainly being dragged down by Nvidia's fall. The S&P's barely green today, up 0.1 of 1%, and the Dow is up around 0.5 of 1%. Now, why is this important? Okay, I'll tell you why. Wall Street has been nervous about valuations. Okay, they've been nervous about valuations. When they're talking about valuations, they're really looking at the headline S&P. Okay, they're not talking about the average stock in the markets. So what you've seen in the last couple of days is the average stock in the markets. You can look at the RSP for an example. The equal weight S&P is marching near a new all-time high, just really 50 cents or so away from a new all-time high. So the average stock in the S&P is actually going higher, but the valuation of the S&P is not really growing too much because the S&P is really not moving too much. So think about it like this. Your portfolios are going up, there's a broadening out of this rally, and market valuations are basically staying the same, at least for the headline S&P. That's because some big tech names, like Nvidia, have sold off a bit, which they have the largest market cap weighting in the S&P, so they sell off, the rest of the markets rally, and it really doesn't change the valuation. That, my friends, is good. Now, we talked about this before Nvidia earnings as well, that there was a couple different scenarios that could play out. You could see Nvidia sell off a little bit. Nobody expected a disaster, but I expected Nvidia would sell off like 3 to 5%. That seems like kind of what is playing out today. You could have seen everything sell off with Nvidia. That would have been a big red flag, a bad sign. You could have seen Nvidia sell off and the rest of the markets rally, and I explained that's a great sign, right? If you see Nvidia take a back burner and it doesn't cause the markets to crash, you gotta be bullish on that, because that means the internals, the confidence of this market perhaps is stronger than most people were recognizing. Now look at that. In the 5 minutes or so that we've been recording this video, not even, Tesla is now up almost 3%. And this is really a preview of what we can expect here, especially heading into the end of this year, with Tesla no longer being a target of tax loss harvesting. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in the next video, but that could help power a pretty aggressive year-end rally for Tesla. So looking forward to that. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Come join us. First and foremost, let's get started with your Tesla stock news. And if you missed the video that came out at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time last night, I want to just share with you this post because I think everyone should hear it. Brad Gerstner said his firm sold its Uber stock after the election and put that money into Tesla. Brad said, quote, 2025 is going to be about robotaxis. We were present at Tesla's robotaxi day. We were impressed. Uber has a hugely disruptive force coming in the case of Tesla. Tesla is running away with its full self-driving capabilities. And I do share the whole clip where he really goes into depth why he's so bullish on Tesla. So check out the last video posted to the channel before this one. Kia has introduced the refreshed all-electric EV6 with a new exterior and interior styling. You can see the difference from the 2024 versus 2025. Let me know if you are a fan of Kias or not. Out of any car brand, I actually do like Kias more than most. Like if Tesla theoretically never existed and EVs were never a thing, then I would probably own a Kia K5. Just being honest. It is being reported EV battery maker Northvolt has just filed for bankruptcy in the US after approximately raising $245 million in new financing. Tesla is at the LA Auto Show with the Cybercab and the rest of their current vehicle lineup, which I would imagine is gonna garner some pretty impressive crowds. Hyundai's CEO on Elon Musk and Trump's relationship. He said, quote, "The fact that Elon Musk is so close to Trump is probably good for electric vehicles, not bad. We are not planning our business based on incentives. We want to produce really great vehicles with great features." And clearly, Trump and Elon being so close these days is a bigger positive for Tesla, but we'll see. It could be positive for all electric vehicle companies and over time at least. The new default Tesla full self-driving version has officially jumped from V12.3.6 to V12.5.4.2. Tesla Scope here says V12.3.6 is officially dead. Long live V12.5. Whatever is coming next. Tesla also has on display the Cybercab at Tesla's Giga New York factory for employees to check out. This headline over here on X says US economic pulse, services surge amid a manufacturing dip. US manufacturing PMIs for November come in at 58.8 versus 48.8 versus 48.5 previously, estimate being 48.9. So it was basically in line with expectations. US services PMIs come in at 57.0 versus 55.0 previously, and the estimate being 55.0. So services really the bright spot. US S&P Global Composite PMI came in at 55.3 versus 54.1 previously, and 54.3 for the estimate. So generally better than expected. Data today is going to have a positive impact to markets as well. Not just Tesla, that's now up 3.5%, almost 4%, but the equal weight S&P, the RSP, small caps, cyclicals like the Dow, they're also going to benefit from better economic data. We also got good news from the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey, with one-year inflation expectations for November that came in at 2.6%. Last month was 2.6%, but the estimate was actually 2.7%. So you came in better than expected there. And five-year inflation expectations came in at 3.2% versus 3.1% last month, the estimate being 3.1%. So longer-term inflation expectations went higher. Not exactly great, but they can be volatile. University of Michigan final sentiment comes in at 71.8, expectation 73.9. Last month was 73.0. That is not as good. But Wall Street does not care as much because that data is really surveys and it only takes you so far. It is also being reported that Actually Smart Summon, better known as ASS, has now launched in Europe. And FSD launching in Europe could be right around the corner. Now, if we take a look at option activity for Tesla stock, not as decisively positive as we have been used to over the past week or two, with positive order values being pretty regularly in the 90+% range. Today, positive order value is sitting at 52%. You have 136 different orders totaling 71.57 million. If you look at the entirety of the last week, you have 1,672 different trades totaling $1.53 billion with a positive order value of 81%. And hedge funds and institutions, big money, in other words, has been positioning now for a while for a larger rally in Tesla stock. And I think that's exactly what we are about to get. In the last video, it's literally titled, Tesla stock is about to go parabolic. The writing is on the wall for another rally here. And for a lot of good reasons, Tesla could rally, including the technicals, in which we'll talk about more in the next video. Nonetheless, short interest of free float sits at 2.79%. Short sellers really are still not covering in mass numbers. But what is really helping to push Tesla stock higher in the last couple of weeks is the option activity, something in which, again, is very positive almost every single day for Tesla these days. With that said, you have $26.5 billion sold short in Tesla. This is up 45% in the last 3 months, going up about $8.5 billion or so. So short sellers have lost their ass in the last couple of months. You have 78.05 million shares currently sold short. This number really has not moved around all too much, give or take. You're seeing a couple 100,000 shares being covered on any given day or being sold short. Including today, you have 321,000 shares that are being covered on, which Tesla is up about 4% at the time of recording this video, so that makes sense. Over on StockTwits, sentiment for Tesla is bullish at 55. Yesterday, it was bullish at 60, so you do expect things to be a little less bullish on a Friday, a little bit less, activity overall. You can see that here in the message volume. It's sitting at 43, which is low, the same as yesterday. It was at 43 yesterday as well. Again, it's a Friday. You expect there to be a little bit less activity. Some people just take Fridays off. And I mean, if you're not serious about investing or you're not an active trader, by all means, take Fridays off. So congratulations if you're watching this video, especially if you watch the videos that are posted over weekends. That is true dedication, and you will outperform over time because of it. At least in my opinion. That's yet to be known at this point. But usually the more you learn, the more you're involved, the more you will outperform over time. Participation ratio is high at 55 today, so there is a fair bit of activity around Tesla stock. Now, I get questions about the participation ratio, what this actually means. And it says here, it measures the number of unique accounts posting on a stream relative to the number of total messages on that stream. So basically, if there's 2 people sending 100 messages, you're going to have a low participation ratio. But if you have 50 people sending 2 messages a piece, that's more people talking about Tesla, that's a higher participation ratio. So the higher this participation ratio, presumably the more people are looking at, trading, or buying Tesla stock on any given day. So you're sitting at pretty healthy numbers here. Global inventory numbers for the Tesla lineup do show the Model Y at about 8,200, which is high for sure for the Model Y. Some of the highest levels you've been at least since April of 2024, when you did briefly hit almost 10,000. Model 3 is trending lower at about 4,800. The Model X at about 4,900. And you do have the Model S at about 3,100. Tesla continues to run about 4,000 different ads with Google. And that was just in the United States. If you broaden this out to everywhere that Google operates, Tesla's actually running 5,000 different ads. 800 of which of these ads are on Google search. 4,000 of these ads are directly on YouTube. As well as that, 600 ads are being advertised on Google Shopping, which I find interesting. Google Trends data for worldwide for Tesla products is still showing good strength, actually going up in the latest rating that we have. The Model Y going from 36 to 37, the Model 3 staying at 32, which is overall a very strong level, the Model S at 12, the Model X at 9, and the Cybertruck at 39. So definitely some good overall numbers here. Unfortunately, I really don't care about worldwide. I think it's a good thing to look at. What I care about is the United States, because the United States for a long time was Tesla's most important market. Nowadays, it's China. So if you see a stronger recovery in the US, if deliveries start to pick up more, then you're going to see Tesla really beating on their quarterly delivery numbers. And we're expecting over 500,000 deliveries, the best quarter for Tesla ever in this Q4. What do you have it? Well, the US looks very good. Cybertruck went from 33, still sitting at 33. It's been a little bumpy. The Model Y went from 23 to 29. The Model 3 went from, or that was the Model Y. I think I said the Model 3. From 23 to, again, 29. The Model 3 went from 18 to 23. The Model S went from 10 to 11. And the Model X went from 7 to 9. So overall, all Tesla products are seeing an increase in search trend activity. CNN's Fear and Greed Index is sharply moving higher as well, now at 61. Yesterday you were at 57. Market momentum is greed, stock price strength is fear, stock price breadth, extreme fear, put and call options, extreme greed, market volatility is neutral, safe haven demand and greed, junk bond demand and extreme greed. The latest AI investor sentiment survey does show the bullish investors fell quite a bit to 41.3%, down from 49.8% last week. Neutral investors also increased from 21.8% to 25.5%. So more people are neutral, and more people are also now bearish. You went from 28.3% to 33.2%, which is the highest level of bears you've seen in quite a while, at least going back to September or so. The percent of stocks currently trading above their 50-day moving average today is having a good day. You're now at 61.04% of stocks trading above their 50-day moving average. 2.4% of all stocks today are breaking above that 50-day moving average. Again, you're seeing the RSP doing well. You're seeing the average stock. You're seeing doing well. You're seeing the Russell do well. You're seeing the Dow do well. So yeah, today is a good day to be a stock picker, that's for sure. And Tesla stock again is up 4%. You're breaking above this trend line that I have drawn here. If you can close above this, that is a great sign for Tesla. And I would expect Tesla could go parabolic from there into the end of this year. We'll explain exactly why that is in the next video. If I did, it would take another 10 minutes or so, and I don't want to make this video 40 minutes long, so we won't go over that here in this video. But from a technical perspective, things look, I mean, just about as good as they ever have, okay? And that, I think, is important. A lot of people pay attention to the technicals. The technicals I do think are important, and they're definitely telling you a strong message about Tesla stock. Just a quick look at what's going on in other areas of our markets. 10-year treasury yields are falling about 2.5 basis points today. That's definitely helping out. Asia had a good trading day. Broadly speaking, markets were higher, anywhere from 0.68% to 2+%, so that's good. Europe also did well, with most markets up over 0.5%. Gold is up 1.2% today. Not a great sign. You don't exactly want to see gold just, continuing to move higher and higher, but hey, we'll take what we can get. Bitcoin is up 0.35% today, and really all eyes are on 100,000. Does Bitcoin break above 100,000 and rally from there, or do we see some resistance at about 100,000? Does Bitcoin go through a bit of a downward move if you get to 100,000? I don't know, but that's what everyone is waiting and watching for, and I think we'll know over this weekend. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic rest of your day. If you guys want to come trade with us live in real time, check out that link down below in the description of this video. You guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next one.